Yellow. Hi. Late. Welcome to the stream. It's kind of a weird time today. Let me send out a message to the social media. What's up, everyone? Damn, y'all got some hard to pronounce names. What's up, Abdul Rahman, Zarathinius? How you guys doing? Just a guy friend. How's it going? What's up, Tony? What's up, that werewolf? I guess this is the benefit of every now and then switching up the stream time, doing it at a different time or day. That way different people can watch. But yeah, this is actually a weird time. It's later than normal and it's on a different day than normal. Hello, follow Aiden or Aden? Kind of just woke up not too long ago, maybe like an hour and a half ago. Honestly, stayed up really late, which I didn't really mean to do. Sometimes you're just kind of messing around on the internet and then you look up and it's like 6 in the morning. Also, I was editing a video for most of the day, which I will release today. I guess probably at the end of the stream. What's up, Steven? What's up, Maytel? I wonder how many people are watching or are gonna come today. YouTube finally, like, well, they admitted that they don't send out your live streams to all your subscribers, which I think is obvious to anyone who live streamed, but they so you just never know who's gonna actually see it. Oh, what's up, Catlin? It has been a minute. Mad scientist assistant. As always, it's a gloomy day here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's kind of wet outside. It's not completely wet like normal, but it's cloudy and gloomy like it is pretty much every day. It'll probably, it's basically like springtime, and that's kind of what happens, I guess, here for spring. The weather here is like usually annoying to me because in the spring it's like all rainy and gloomy. In the summer it's way too hot. And then we have like maybe like 2 weeks where it's like nice and cool, but not too cold. And then for a little while, it gets way too cold. I historically have not liked summer because it's too hot here, and it gets hot and humid. See, it's not even the fact that it gets hot, but the fact that it gets super humid. So it's like you go outside, you can't breathe, it's all sticky. I live in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. Were there marches by me yesterday? I don't know if there. I don't think there was a march here. There may have been some like a small demonstration downtown, but it wasn't like a big deal here like it was in some other cities. I was actually down right near Pensacola not too long ago. Well, I guess maybe a little less than a year ago, because I went last summer. I wasn't actually in Pensacola, but I was like in like the Floribama area at the beach, hanging out with rich white people. It snowed yesterday. Well, I think we probably, well, I can't say because the weather's always crazy. Um, I don't think we're gonna get snow again till next winter, but every now and then you just randomly get like a snowstorm in March or April. It's pretty crazy. ATL, it's really cold here. Last week 32, last month. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Atlanta's right. It's like 2 hours away from Birmingham where I am, so the weather's usually similar. But it's not cold. It hasn't been cold the past few days. It was a little bit chilly last night, but I think it was maybe like 40. Do you like the beach? It's interesting. I do like the beach, but I generally don't like being outside. And I definitely don't like swimming, and I don't like being inside of bodies of water. But I just like the whole feel of the beach. And, you know, I like the sea breeze and just I don't know, just feels pleasant. Saw on Twitter the other day my next video is going to be a big hot take. Yeah, I may, it may not be that hot of a take. But I think that most of the people that watch my videos are gonna disagree with it. Well, not like disagree with all of it, but like sort of the main point I'm making, I think that most people are gonna disagree with. But I'm gonna release the video today actually, so I guess I might as well just leave it a surprise. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, like, but might as well. It'll honestly, someone will probably ask about it in the chat, so we'll see. Yeah, that beach. I had a lot of fun at the beach in Floribama. Because usually when I want to go to the beach, I go to Gulf Shores. And that the beach in Gulf Shores is inferior to the beach at Floribama. Ireland got the worst snow in decades a few weeks ago. We're incapable of dealing with it, so the whole country pretty much shut down. Well, that's kind of how we are, even when we get just a little bit of snow, because it happens so rarely that we're just never set up to deal with it. What is the exact temperature of this take? It's probably not that hot a take. It was one of those things that I sort of knew what the video was going to be about, but then I started working on it, and I was like, well, you know, this is just like all of my videos. There's a lot of different things that I try to propose, and I try to talk about the nuance of the situation. So it ends up not being that hot of a take. Like, my channel is usually not like hot takes. That's not usually what it's about. It's usually just about like conversations. Every now and then I do a take, but I think that's not usually what I do. Cold pizza take. Cold pizza is better than hot pizza half the time. I think I agree with that. I think that cold delivery pizza is often better than hot delivery pizza, but it definitely is not always better. It depends on what it is. I don't think that cold frozen, like cold pizza that you made in the oven is better than hot pizza. I do think that cold fried chicken is usually better than hot fried chicken though. But I mean, there's like actual, you know, scientific reasons for that. I think it's something about how the fat settles or something, and then something like that. And it's also why some foods, including pizza, often taste better after you've cooled it and then reheated it. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? I would never intentionally order pineapple on pizza. But if there's a pizza in front of me with pineapple on it, I'm still gonna eat it. It's still pizza. No, I didn't mean that. Wait, did I say that? I meant to say that when frozen pizza that you cook is not better cold than it is hot. Frozen pizza is definitely not better than, you know, pizza from a pizzeria or delivery pizza. It's not even close. That's why I hate those DiGiorno commercials where they say it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno, because no one would ever confuse the two, and no one would say that it's better. Honestly though, like, pizza is great, but I don't even mind if you say you don't like pizza, because after for me, the older I get and the more I try to eat decently, the less I even like want junk food and stuff. Like the other day, like, yeah, I usually eat pretty decent. Like I cook my meals like 90% of the time. But the other day I really had a taste for some pizza, and I was like, man, I really want a pizza. So I ordered some pizza. And then like I ate, you know, 2 or 3 slices, and after that I was like, I'm already sick of this. I don't want this anymore. But that's, I don't know, that's just my taste buds have definitely changed over time. Like, I hate fast food. The only time I ever eat fast food is if I just am just being really, really lazy, because I never like really want it. See, now olives I don't back. Olives are easily the most disgusting thing that I've ever tasted. Like, I can deal with pineapples, and it's not even just olives on pizza, it's just olives in general. I don't want them ever. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of my favorite things to eat. Sometimes I just like cut up a bunch of mushrooms and fry them and just eat them as a snack. Small cubes of pepperoni are vastly superior to large circles. I don't know if I agree with that. Yeah, I used to be pretty lazy, but it comes to a point where you just kind of figure out what you prioritize in life. And I chose to prioritize eating decently. And once it becomes a habit, it's just, you know, you don't really, everything else seems, you know, incorrect. I've never had margarita pizza, I don't think. Banana peppers on pizza is good, for sure. When was the last time you were in a church? The last time I went to a church was maybe about a year ago. Cause my stepdad is a pastor, and this was his first sermon, so I went to support him for his first sermon, and it was fine. I actually was thinking about making a video about the experience because I don't know how long you guys have followed me, but many of you might know that I'm a pretty hardcore atheist and anti-theist. And I used to make a lot of videos. You know, back in the day, a lot of us who are now in this sort of political space on YouTube, a lot of us originally was in this sort of atheist community, and we just basically just made videos shitting on religion all the time. But I still am, like, I still am pretty hostile to religion and that kind of thing. But I wanted to make a video about this experience because it was not bad. I thought I was going to hate it because it was church, but I realized church is just another fandom. Like, it's just like going to, you know, an anime convention. It's just a bunch of people that are really enthusiastic about a thing. Even if you don't get it or understand it, it's not that big of a deal. No, obviously there's bigger problems. I think there's problems that religion has that anime doesn't have, but I was thinking about just talking about the fact that I didn't hate it because it was very remarkable to me that I didn't hate it. To me, it doesn't make a difference if the olives are green or black or purple or red or whatever. It's all gross. It's funny when feminists trying to solve women problems are accused of female supremacy, and when they try to solve men's problems, they are accused of trying to make men feminine. What do you think? I don't know, man. A lot of stuff like that, it's just kind of like obviously a disingenuous argument, and it's just hard to even engage. Like, it's just not really the argument is not designed to be fair. So, like, why should I even entertain it, you know? And then I never went again to church. How come I didn't go back to church? Because that's not my thing. I'm an atheist. You've done a couple videos about the PUA community. How did you get into that? Did you ever try your game out in the field? Do you feel as the PUA community gets too good, bad rep? Well, yeah, I did a video. I feel like my video, which is called The Downfall of Pickup, kind of tells my whole story with that. But, you know, it was just when I was younger, you know, like in my early 20s, for me, like the only thing that I cared about at that age was girls and trying to figure out how to get girls to be into me. And then, you know, I've always just been interested in just sort of figuring out the mysteries of life and figuring out the mysteries of human dynamics and relationships and stuff. And if you watch some of my old videos, I talked about that kind of stuff a lot. So I started reading books. I worked at a library at the time, so I checked out a lot of different books on like body language and relationships, and even, you know, there's at the time was when pickup was starting to become sort of mainstream. So there were like books that were actually available at the library about it, and you know, I definitely used it, and it works. But even back then, but especially over time, there's a lot of aspects of it that you know, don't really sit well with me and the person that I want to be. Like a lot of it is very manipulative, and a lot of it is very like just like really, it's like very rehearsed, and like you don't really feel like a real person when you're doing it. But there is a lot of actually good just general advice about how to interact with not even just women, but just human beings. But these over time, the pickup community has, I don't know if it's shifted, but it's strongly associated with like anti-feminism and like MRAs and that type of stuff now. And I guess if you think about it, that kind of makes sense, because a lot of that resentment and bitterness comes from guys who feel unlucky with women, who are the type of guys that would be interested in pickup. But I feel like that sort of sentiment wasn't as strong back in the day, but maybe I was just blind to it. But it's definitely there now, and so I just, you know, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. I think that pickup in its infancy was a little bit it was, I think it was overly criticized, but insofar as, you know, there's some fair criticisms, you know, there for sure. But insofar as it's all about like resentment of women and shit these days, it's you know, I think it's fairly criticized at this point. Well, I think a lot of and I don't know, I don't want to sit here and defend pickup, but if you go back and look at some of the stuff that I was interested in back in the day, a lot of it was actually decent advice. But what we have now is this really weird perversion of it that I don't know where it came from, where people say shit like, you know, if you treat women like shit and like make them insecure, then they'll fall in love with you. Like, that's not the type of shit that I was reading back in the day. That's not what I was, you know. like that Roosh V type stuff, that is definitely not the pickup that I was into back in the day. That's why I think it's sort of shifted as this resentment grew and grew. The ideas behind it just sort of shifted to just outright resentment of women. Yeah, I mean, Tucker, that's what I would say. Like I said, I don't really want to sit here and defend pickup because it is definitely problematic and it always has been. But a lot of the advice was good. And a lot of the stuff is stuff that I still think about today and still helps me today. You know, like the ideas about like one-itis, which is like getting too focused on one person, even though it's not going anywhere, or like how to deal with rejection, or how to respect someone's personal space, or how to start a conversation with someone without, you know, creeping them out. That's all stuff that we talked about back in the day. And I think it's still good advice. Now, as I said in my video, which if you haven't seen, you should watch it. I think it's one of my better ones. It's called The Downfall of Pickup. There's some shitty parts of it, and there always have been. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was ever 100% great. One of the worst parts is the concept of last minute resistance, which is basically the idea of when you've gotten a girl to the point where she might have sex with you, but she's having second thoughts. There's like a whole like lesson plan about how to basically manipulate and or pressure her into doing it anyway. And that's like extremely fucked up. So there's always been problems with it. But now it's just gone off the deep end. People, I think a lot of people didn't understand what they were doing with it. And I think also people, they sort of wanted instant gratification, and almost nothing that you do works instantly. You have to practice. But, you know, people, I think people didn't understand, and I think the mainstream exposure from it didn't help because people were just seeing all of these fucking crazy looking dudes that supposedly were successful with women, and they're like, why is it not working for me? Also, I think it's designed to attract a certain type of person. I think that you can utilize a lot of the different things that you learn in many situations, but it's designed for like young women in social settings like bars and clubs. Like that's what it's designed for. Sometimes they have like, here's how you can apply this in other situations. But it's designed for like social situations where people are already probably drinking and probably a little loose and probably out to actually meet people, that sort of thing. Every now and then you'll find like a book that say, here's how you can pick up a girl at the grocery store. Which honestly, you shouldn't be trying to pick up girls at the grocery store, but you know, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean that's a big problem, is basically the dehumanization of women is like a huge thing. But I think that many guys wanted to use pickup because they actually wanted to form, you know, human relationships with women. I don't think that was non-existent. It may not have been the majority, but I think that was a thing. And another big problem is that it was mainly all about sex. Like, you know, they said that, you know, if you want a relationship, this works, but the whole thing is about sex. And the older you get, or the older I get, the more I realize that there are other things in life that are cool than having sex with people. There are other cool things you can do with human beings besides having sex. Sex is awesome, but it's just not the whole purpose of being alive. I know at least 2 guys that bought goofy ass hats so they could peacock like Mystery. Yeah. I don't know. There's many reasons why people do this and it doesn't work. So I can't really tell. But I can tell you that for a lot of people it does work. If and that's, you know, for better or for worse. I feel like reading about social dynamics makes you too aware of yourself and how you supposedly are being perceived. It makes you insecure. I think that is, you know, that's a fear that could happen. For me, I don't mind it. Like I think that people should be more self-aware. I personally want, like, I don't know, it's very important to me that I don't make other people uncomfortable, that I don't piss people off, that I don't needlessly offend people, that, you know, I care about that. So I think about that all the time. And for me, I think it has resulted in me, you know, being a better person and making more friends and having more people like to be around me. So you know, it could go either way. Yeah, I think I wanted to tell people about the pickup community that was, you know, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't perfect. But, you know, that's a time from the past that it probably is gone forever, so. Sex is awesome. I don't know how many of you have ever had sex, but it's pretty good. For me, at least. I think, and I was in that video, I was talking about how I kind of wish that there was a more, you know, ethical version of pickup today. And I guess it does kind of exist though, because there's people like Dr. Nerdlove, who has a really great blog that is basically dating advice for men. There's Charisma on Command, which isn't only about dating, but it's about, you know, how you can attract other people, you know, without being creepy or an asshole. So that type of stuff exists. So it didn't all go the way of fucking red pill and fucking MRA. On the, I don't know, man, when it comes to like the economic stuff and the tax stuff, I always hesitate to really make a definite opinion on it at first, because I feel like most people exaggerate how informed they are about these things. And I definitely, like, I probably know less than those people, so I just need to I need to look more into it. How did you become so chill? I don't know. I think, well, I kind of got it from, like, my dad is really chill. And I think, and me, I have two brothers, and we're all like that. We're all just really calm and chill. And I think we all got it from my dad. I don't know. We've always just sort of been observers. And I think we sort of got it from each other, too. We sort of picked it up from each other. Can you tell an embarrassing dating story from your past? An embarrassing dating story. I don't know. I don't know if I have any stories that are actually interesting. I have a lot of embarrassing dating stories because I have, because I drink a lot. So usually when you're drunk, you always do something embarrassing. I do have a sister. I have a younger sister. She's not as chill as me and my brothers, though. Well, she's pretty chill. I take that back. She's pretty chill. But she's a kid, so you know, kids like to play and be loud every now and then. Hello, Tara. I feel like a lot of stuff about body language really oversimplifies social interaction. I think it does, but I also think that people over emphasize the individuality of human beings. Like, we're all like the same species, and we all have a lot of the same evolutionary ticks. But yeah, I mean, I think if you definitely have to remember that everyone is a person, and you can't just be like, it's not like math where you can just like put a number in and get a number out every single time. But I do think that a lot of the stuff that we do is not universal, but like common enough to be noteworthy. My sister is 11, I think. I'm 32. Would I ever work in a school? Probably not. Not if I had to interact with children. But you know, for example, like going back to pickup, and we're talking about body language. One of the things that you do when you're like talking to a girl and that you're interested in is you look for IOIs, indicators of interest, and a lot of times indicators of interest are nonverbal, obviously. So an example is like if she's touching you, she starts touching you. That could be an indicator of interest. Not to be fair, some people just like touching. I've known a lot of people that just, you know, they're just touchy people. Another indicator of interest is, or a supposed indicator of interest is twirling hair. She's talking to you and she's twirling her hair. To me, that's not a great one, because that's the thing that a lot of people do just out of nervous habit. And that could really throw you off if you see someone twirling their hair and you're like, oh man, she's into me. But for some people it is. For some people, the reason that they are nervous is because they're attracted to you, and then they start subconsciously twirling their hair. But like you're saying, it's oversimplified to say anytime someone is twirling their hair, that means they're interested in you. Do I still like Colbert? Me? Yeah. I like Colbert more now than I did when he was on the Colbert Report. I just kind of found the Colbert, the character on the Colbert Report very exhausting. It was like extremely heavy-handed. It was like, it's almost like they took an SNL sketch and somehow stretched it out over multiple seasons when it should have just been one sketch. And I didn't like, the show was funny sometimes, but I don't think it was, it wasn't insightful. It didn't really make any great points. It was just like, hey, we're just gonna pretend to be a fucking Fox News guy, and that's the whole show, and we're gonna do it for many years, the same thing every time. Honestly, I think that what's his name? Is it Kepler? What's the other guy? I think he does it better. Do I like H Bomber Guy? Yeah. Does anybody not like H Bomber Guy? I feel like if you don't like H Bomber Guy, you gotta like gotta do some soul searching. You take some deep breaths and take control of your life. Um, but I like all his stuff. But I just happen to both be into political stuff and video games, so it's perfect for me. If you're a person who's only into one of those things, it might be kind of jarring for you every now and then. H Bomber Guy was one of the people that really got me to calm down in terms of being like so frustrated about like anti SJWs. Not because he like, sympathized with them, because he definitely didn't, but he just so thoroughly debunked many of them, and he so thoroughly like proved how ridiculous a lot of these people are, that I was like, why am I so mad about this? They're just wackos. Like I shouldn't be this mad. So he kind of helped me understand that. In general, Colbert is better. Like, but I just think that style is done better by the other person. Klepper, Jordan Klepper. Um, I just feel like he actually makes points. The Colbert Report never made any points. It was just all about comedy, basically. What do you think of the media pushing the Russian collusion stuff? I don't know. I think that is. I mean, I feel like the Russian collusion is an interesting and plausible topic. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Um, I like Sean too, but I think I just relate more to the stuff that H Bomber Guy talks about. Also, H Bomber Guy is extremely funny, so to me that pushes him, you know, over the edge for a lot of stuff. Just because even if I don't know what he's talking about, it's still going to be really funny. But you know, Sean H Bomber Guy, those type of people. There's like people that are just sort of like right now they're just killing the game. Sean H Bomber Guy, Conjure Points, um, and you know, I feel like those are probably the big three right now in terms of like political based YouTubers. Not the big three, but the people that are just like in terms of leftist politics on YouTube, they're just killing it right now. There's some other people who have killed it in the past and sort of reached the, you know, reached a level, but right now they're killing it. The Trump administration did collude with Russia, but he colluded with everyone. I don't get why Russia is hyper focused. He colluded with everyone? Is that true? Who is everyone? Mm. Well, I mean, the media is often pretty bad about including all of the necessary information. Well, I think Contra said that Tabby was supposed to be an exaggeration, but people started unironically identifying with her. Well, I mean, have these other countries been as directly involved with this election as Russia was? Because if so, I have been deeply underinformed. What series do you see now? What is that? What do you mean? Like TV series? Are there any new leftist YouTubers you've been watching lately? New? I don't know about any new ones. I watch less politics these days. Um, except just like mainstays that I already know are going to be good. But I'm probably out of the loop. There's probably some new people that are really good that I just don't know about. I've been watching a lot more of Dan Olsen recently. He's not new, but I never really watched him before, but I've been watching a lot more of it now. It's really good. When I watch these people, they just kind of remind me how much less smart than they are I am. That's what I think of when I watch like ContraPoints or Dan Olsen or Lindsay Ellis or H Bomber Guy. I'm like, oh wow, these guys are way smarter than I am. Have I discovered any more channels from the disability social justice community? I have not, actually. I should probably ask for suggestions, ask followers for suggestions. But that just, I don't know, that sort of just inspires me. Like that, I need to read more and just learn more stuff. Hey, the mailman's outside. Wonder if he's brought me anything nice. Yeah, is the channel called Folding Ideas? I think it is. Yeah, that's the name of the channel. And the guy's name is Dan, and his videos are good. He's almost at 200,000 subscribers. Good for him. I feel like I should do more. Well, I don't know if I should, but I kind of want to do more videos about like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. But I don't watch a lot of those. But I also just want it to be an interesting topic rather than just sort of like a long review like what a lot of people do. But people like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think the Suicide Squad video might be his most popular video. What's up, Electro Main? Thank you for the super chat. 444. What up, T1J? Did you see the new Captain D video? Captain Disillusion? Yeah, the most recent one. Yeah, I saw it. It's good. The one where he parodies all of the educational YouTubers. Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good. I liked when he He did the I can't even remember the dude's name, but when he parodied the guy did the like the history of the universe and the history of Japan, that shit was tight. Boom, boom, boom. At first, I was like, "Did Captain Disillusion make another video?" But you meant the most recent one. Thank you for the donation. You just want your name to be on both sides again? Let me see if you sent me a message. Do I play any instruments? No. I've been trying to learn guitar for my whole life, but I am really bad about keeping up with stuff. I always am very hesitant when people start throwing out accusations, because especially accusations that don't seem to sound right to me, because I've seen so many people just randomly get dragged because of sort of exaggerations of what they're doing, or misinterpretations or misunderstandings of what they're doing. So I'm always very hesitant for stuff like that. Like people get called so many different things, and I'm always a little bit makes me cringe a little bit. Let me see this message though. You know the drill, just need to have my name on both sides. Word. It seems unlikely to me that Cat Black would be ableist, or that she would encourage people to be ableist. That just seems like really, really unlikely to me. And in my experience, a lot of times people are, I don't know. I guess I just have to see it, because I just see people get called out called out unfairly all the time, especially public figures and YouTubers and stuff. There's sort of like a very low tolerance for behavior in the community a lot of the time. So like, you know, you could be just randomly on Twitter just saying something randomly, and then all of a sudden, because of that, you know, that one tweet, now everyone has called you a transphobe, and now you're known, and then that gets spread and everyone thinks you're a transphobe, when, you know, it sort of ignores the bulk of your activism. So it's just weird to me. And I guess the main reason I'm skeptical is because I've seen it happen so many times before. Like even in this chat, like now, like people will come in this chat and be like, so and so is a TERF, and I'm like, How? What did they say that was turfy, or what do you mean? They're just like, I don't know. You know, I heard something. I was like, okay, dude. What games am I playing right now? Um, Dragon Ball Fighters and World of Warcraft. I recently renewed my World of Warcraft account. Cause why not? Cat Black is she's definitely like very sassy, and she doesn't really entertain people's shit a lot of the time. So she can definitely come off as like that for sure. But I think a lot of times people conflate that with her having opinions that she hasn't actually expressed. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm just saying that's my experience observing her. I I've definitely heard things about her fans. I've heard about her fans dogpiling people for sure. I don't know that much about it, but I've heard more than one person say that. But that's, I have my own thoughts about that, and I think that a lot of people can do better in that arena for sure. I've talked about dogpiling a lot on Twitter and in different places. And I don't, as far as I know, my audience doesn't do that. And when I've seen stuff like that happen, I call it out. But I don't think I've never had like a dog pile, I don't think. And a lot of times you don't notice when it happens. So that's something to keep in mind too. Um, but I don't know. I think a lot of it is just I strongly believe that you cultivate your audience based on how you act and based on your values and what you express in your content. So, with someone like Cat Black, who I back, by the way, I think she makes good content, but she definitely has like this sort of sassy DGAF personality. So I think you're going to cultivate an audience of people that are sort of like that. And I think that is sort of the danger of finding yourself in certain communities, because I think certain communities they're sort of looking for enemies. And I honestly like I said, I don't know of any time that my followers have dogpiled someone. If it has happened, I didn't notice, but I don't think it's happened. Uh, but even so, I've like stopped doing certain things. Like, for example, if I get if a person with a small number of followers tweet something at me, back in the day, I would sort of like use that and as an example and like quote tweet them or something, just as an example to my followers. But I stopped doing that because I just don't even want to encourage it or make it even seem like it's okay to do something like that. And like I said, I've had situations where it wasn't a dog pile, but I've had people, like two or three people, come in and start talking shit on somebody. And when that happened, I immediately was like, hey, that's not cool. Don't do that. But I have my own views. I've talked a lot about how leftists on the internet often, like on social media, they often have this idea of it's okay when I do it because I'm right. Because we complain a lot about the conservatives, the alt right, the anti-feminists, all of them, and how, I think that dogpiling people and brigading people is a large part of their overall strategy. And so we've complained about that a lot. But when it happens on the other side, I think people are like, well, I can do it because I'm right. And that's just a really bad mentality to have. But I don't know, Twitter is just, I think social media, Twitter, Facebook, it just is just not conducive to to any kind of, decent conversation most of the time. What's up with jobs that pay the least trying to work you the hardest? I don't know. You're the cog in the machine. The problem is a lot of the jobs that work the hardest are also jobs that in which you are easily replaceable, which is why you get paid the least. Yeah. Muting people is dope. I mean, I've been dogpiled by a lot of people, but I've gotten very good at ignoring that kind of thing. Like, I've been dogpiled by Bearing fans, by Sargon fans, by Shoe on Head fans, by uh fucking Jeff Holiday fans, Vernaculus fans. I've been I've had all those people on my case. And then just mute that conversation, dog. I eventually muted all of my notifications though. Like I don't get notified anymore. And it has vastly improved my Twitter experience. And I would imagine that I would suggest anyone who has a lot of followers or has a higher than average profile, I would suggest everyone do that. Unless you're okay with it. But sometimes I see people on Twitter and all they do all day long is just complain and they're like these people won't leave me alone. Why are these people so frustrating? And it's like, fucking stop reading that shit. You're just ruining your life. Who follows nobody and likes, retweets nothing. There you go. I basically just follow, like, I don't know. I follow a lot of people, but I try not to follow like overly dramatic or negative people. There are some people I follow just sort of out of curiosity and just so I know what's going on, even though they technically don't meet my criteria. Like, I follow Dusty Smith, who's super, like, he's just like a troll, and he's like really always talking shit and causing drama. He's really funny a lot of the times, but I follow him just to keep up because he's sort of like, he's at the center of a lot of debates within, you know, the political space on YouTube. But sometimes I have to like look away because he's constantly involved in fucking squabbles on Twitter. I actually don't know that much about Cat Black's Facebook experience. I mostly follow her on Twitter, but I think she has a higher profile on Facebook than she does on Twitter. So it may be like a completely different story. Do a lot of women compliment eyelashes? Eyelashes? I don't think so. I get compliments on my eyebrows. Or maybe just my eyes. I don't know. I've gotten comments on my eyes, and maybe that includes my eyelashes. Listening to an audiobook about the history of class politics in Britain called Chavs. Interesting. I like that name. Yeah, to this day I always cringe whenever someone uses the term SJW unironically. Thing is, I get the concept of SJW, but the thing is, the term is so overused and applied so broadly to so many different people with different ideas that it just means nothing. It's a slur now. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I understood that it was a derogatory term. But yeah, I mean, I know what chav means. But the thing about the word SJW is there should like I use the word shitlord a lot. Like I just think it's funny mainly. I just think it's funny, but I use shitlord to describe, right wing people that are ridiculous. Um, and there should be a word to describe left wing people that are ridiculous, and I think that's what SJW is supposed to be. But it's just been so thoroughly fucking just misused that I just don't even like it. Been a while since I last made 20 streams. Welcome to the stream. Great blog post about listening to happy people. Wait, what's the blog post? Well, the right thinks anyone left of Ayn Rand is a SJW. Yeah, that's the problem. Like we can't all be SJWs. That's just it's not a thing. Like fucking they call their own friends SJWs if they say something even a little bit progressive. Like I've been called SJW many times, but like if you compare me to someone way on the left, like I don't know, like Peter Coffin or something, we can't both be SJWs. We disagree on too much stuff. Peter Coffin is the homie, by the way. I'm not talking shit about him, but I'm just saying like it doesn't work. You can't just randomly call people stuff. Um, I was really impressed with the young people at the March for Our Lives. Me too. Those young people are like giving me hope for this stupid country. I've seen someone call Overwatch an SJW game just because Zarya's got pink hair. Yeah, well, I'm currently at the gym. How do you feel about Planet Fitness, no gym intimidation, and anti-lunk environment? I used to be like really annoyed by that, but it's like if it makes people comfortable and it encourages people to go to the gym, then go for it. I think that Planet Fitness overall is kind of disappointing because it seems pretty clear that their business model is taking your money even though you don't go to the gym. Like it's so cheap that you don't cancel it because you're gonna go eventually apparently, but um it's not enough of a commitment that you actually go. And I think that's their whole business model, and I think that kind of sucks that that's their business model. But I don't know. I'm like I'm above average. I have above average interest in health and fitness, and so I back anything that gets people interested in that sort of thing. So if that works, then I back it. I feel like most people on the right think everyone on the left has the same ideas. Yeah, I think that probably applies to a lot of people. A lot of people think that. Planet Fitness is, I think it's about like $15 to $20 a month. Maybe even less. Maybe like $10 a month. But I think I'm just sort of like opting myself out of the whole SJW, non SJW, like whatever, dude. I just want to make videos about stuff that I'm interested in. And if you agree, you don't, that's fine. You know, live your life. In terms of the overall presentation of Overwatch, I think it's great. I love the diversity, and I love like all of the languages and, you know, different cultures coming together. I don't really have a problem with fictional characters being sexualized. And I kind of disagree that Mercy is sexualized. Widowmaker is definitely sexualized. But again, I don't think there's a problem with that. People are sexual. That's a real thing. I did not watch Dear White People. Yeah, I don't really identify with gym intimidation, but maybe just because you know, I kind of know what I'm doing. I wouldn't say that I 100% know what I'm doing, but this whole idea of like muscle heads like going around intimidating people, like that's not a thing. When you go to the gym, everyone just wants to be left alone. Nobody gives a shit about you. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at shooters too. I also don't like, I don't go to the gym these days. I work out in my friend's basement, so maybe my opinion is not as valid. But I mean, I've been to gyms. I mean, I love Overwatch, but I stopped playing it because of the community. It has an awful community. It seems like any popular team-based game is always going to have a shitty community, which is unfortunate. Gamers are kind of trash. And the thing about Overwatch is it's I don't know, like you can't play the game without communicating with your team, or you can't win at least. Like that's like part of the game, but I just don't want to do it. I was gonna do a video about how trash the gaming community is, but I don't think I feel like dealing with the inevitable backlash. I'll let them have that one. Maybe I'll do it at some in the future when I'm feeling particularly masochistic. Reading any more Gary V stuff? I haven't read anything recently, but I still watch his videos and his podcasts and stuff like that. I could see how maybe an older game like Modern Warfare 2 might have a chiller community. I'm surprised people still play it, to be honest. Well, I'm not surprised because it's the best Call of Duty, but yeah, I mean, I love gaming too. To quote Dark Mother Anita Sarkeesian, you know, we can criticize the games we love and still love them. To paraphrase, I don't remember the exact quote. Film Radar, what's up, dude? Yeah, I mean those old Call of Duty games were fun too. Don't get me wrong. Should you say something to someone who you see lifting weights in an obvious dangerous way? I don't know. I mean, if you think they're in like immediate danger of injuring themselves, then maybe. Or if you're at a gym, maybe you should like tell someone who's working there. That's probably the best thing to do. But make sure you know that what you're talking about. Because sometimes you can have sort of a weird form on a lift that's not necessarily dangerous. It just kind of looks weird because of what you're doing. Do you watch Tom Scott videos? I don't think so. Who's Tom Scott? I'm gonna stream for about 30 more minutes, y'all. Speaking of working out, this is what I've been drinking. This is protein shake. Got to get my protein. And it's a soy protein shake. So I love the irony of me using a soy protein shake to help me build muscles. Thanks for coming to the stream, Grim. Yeah, Athlean X is good. I watch a lot of fitness channels. I haven't watched them a lot recently, but for a minute I was really into fitness channels. I watched a lot of Elliot Hulse and Hodge Twins and Scooby and some other people. Hodge Twins don't even do fitness anymore. They just do comedy, but they're hilarious, so it's fine. Well, this is whey protein with soy milk in it, so it's not soy you know what I mean. Did you hear about that dominatrix who makes her clients read black feminist literature? I hadn't. No, is that a thing? Is this like the premise of a joke you're telling, or is that a real thing? Channel awesome drama. I don't think so. Oh yeah, Daniel Bryan has come back to save WWE. Kingdom Come. Just finished watching Anita Sarkeesian. I really like her newer stuff. The Freak Show and her podcast. That stuff's good. I was not really a big fan of the tropes versus women in video games or whatever. Like, I thought it was so much of it was reaching, and it was also really boring. Like, I think it was a useful addition to the discourse, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. But her newer stuff, her more recent stuff, I'm into. I don't understand. Wrestling is all that stuff acting or something. Well, it's acting is part of it. It's just it's basically it's theater with stunts. It's like the circus, except well, not the circus. I don't know. It's just like a live show with stunts. Let's think of it that way. Just think of a bunch of stuntmen and women doing stunts, but they're also being a theatrical narrative. And it's also like really campy. You know, that's part of the idea. It's like live action anime. That's how I've been describing wrestling recently. Oh yeah, I'll have to read about the Channel Awesome thing. I don't know anything about it. I was actually gonna make a video about that, about wrestling. Like, well, I was basically gonna be. It was basically gonna be like why people love wrestling. Yeah, it's. I mean, insofar as well, the thing is, wrestling is a show about an athletic competition. It's not an actual athletic competition. It's a fictitious show about an athletic competition that has real stunts. So like imagine MMA but not MMA, a show about MMA. That's what wrestling is. Is there some improvisation in wrestling? Yeah. There's a lot of improvisation. Both narratively and inside the ring. How do you feel about Ronda Rousey? I mean, I just have to see what she's gonna do. One more for the road. Thank you, Electric Lomain, $2. I'm out T1J. Viva new computer. Yeah, I'm gonna put all my money together at the end of the month, and see what I can get. I'm trying to buy a new computer, guys, because my computer sucks. So if you'd like to donate towards that, that would be awesome. But yeah, most people who hate on wrestling are people that have never even tried to watch it, because wrestling has the same appeal as any other campy serial narrative. Like, it has the same appeal as anime, the same appeal as Doctor Who. I can see if you don't like the violence and all that stuff, that's one thing, because it's about a bunch of people fighting each other. So if you're not into that, that's cool. But in terms of just the narrative of a like over the top campy narrative with all these crazy characters, that's what wrestling is. But that applies to so many different things. And some of the characters are actually really compelling and interesting, and some of the storylines are really like, it'll make you cry. Sometimes it's bad, but that's anything. Sometimes Doctor Who is bad. Sometimes it's amazing. What do you think about the March for Our Lives? Do you think we can keep the momentum going while also making room for Black Lives Matter, Idle No More? Well, we have to. I mean, I hope we can, because we have to, because all those things matter. This is Film Radar. Thank you for the $10. Been there, dude. The new computer is super important, so hope this sells. I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's my computer. Like, my computer is about 8 or 9 years old right now, and you can kind of tell that it's like, it's just barely squeaking by. It's on its last legs. And I can like barely edit videos and stuff. Like, I had the video that I'm putting out today, like the damn thing crashed like 4 times before I could actually finish rendering it. So it's kind of annoying. But, you know, I've been selling my wristbands to help raise money. These things here. My little wristband thingies. If you want one, you can go to theonejanitor.com/wristband. They're $5. And, you know, I've gotten a few donations, so hopefully we can get something by the end of the month. And, you know, my computer's so old that pretty much anything would be an upgrade, so I don't have to buy some super top of the line thing. I just need something that can handle the basic stuff that I need. I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/theonejanitor. I think there should be a link in the description. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about with the March for Our Lives and stuff. I mean, the sad reality is that marginalized groups, their voices are also marginalized, and it's going to be harder for you know, kids or even adults in certain groups to get the same profile as you know, a bunch of white kids in Florida. And that's just how it is. It's not their fault, and I'm not saying that we should, you know, take away from them. But I think that's part of this. That's part of, I think, the That's part of sort of the burden of white activists is you have to really be responsible with your voice, and you have to make sure that you pass the mic to other people when it's necessary. And I think that these kids have done a decent job of that. But yeah, I mean, we can and honestly, like, I think this is a good time when we've got a lot of steam in the right direction. This is a good time to start, bringing up other things and reminding people about other issues. And I hope that these kids continue, like, if they get what they're asking for, I hope that they continue to fight for other causes. All right, Hitface, thanks for checking out the stream as always. I'm probably gonna leave in about 15 minutes myself. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna update my desktop or just buy a laptop, because I like the idea of having two computers, but I think I just need to replace my whole desktop. Just my main computer is it's just frustrating to use right now. You said something about your hair being a lot of work. Just want to say it's fucking on point. I appreciate that. That makes it all worth it. Where am I from? I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. Any movies you've liked in the recent months? Black Panther. It's amazing. That's pretty much the only movie that I've seen recently. Apparently there have been a lot of good movies recently, but I just didn't see any of them. Have you ever built a PC? I've never personally built a PC, but I've had a PC built for me. But unfortunately, a couple months later, it got stolen. So I should have paid to see Black Panther instead of A Wrinkle in Time. Probably. Well, A Wrinkle in Time is a kid's movie. And I'm not saying that that means it's going to be bad. But from what I understand, it's just obviously targeted towards kids. And it's like sort of, simplistic and not that intriguing. But I've heard that it's a decent movie. Yeah, The Wrinkle in Time was 100% my favorite book when I was a kid. So I was pretty excited to see the movie. But I just haven't done it yet. Oh yeah, I remember seeing a lot of previews for game night, and I couldn't tell if it was gonna be good or not. It looked like it could be like really corny, or it could be funny. You thought the movie was terrible. It's okay. Not amazing, but not awful. How long does it take to make a video? It kind of depends. Now, Jesse, I'm actually going to be leaving in about 10-15 minutes. But thanks for coming. So, it kind of depends on what I'm doing. for example, and it kind of depends on what part of the process you consider making the video. So if, like, most of my videos have scripts, so I have to write scripts. And writing the script can take anywhere from like 2 hours to like 2 days, sometimes up to a week, if it involves like a lot of research or something. So, you know, that can take a long time. And then after writing is shooting. Shooting is the shortest, takes the shortest amount of time. Which is interesting because it's probably my least favorite part, but it's the least time consuming. So that usually takes about 30 minutes to an hour. And then editing. Now my videos, like the new sort of style of video I've been experimenting with, it requires a lot more editing than normal. Or a lot more editing than before. So the editing can take, you know, like 5 or 6 hours average. But if it's something like more ambitious, it could take, you know, all day, literally like eight hours or something. And then even after you edit it, you have to render, which on my shitty computer takes like an hour. And then you have to upload it, which takes itself like 20 minutes. And then even after you upload it, you have to do a bunch of shit like make a thumbnail, add captions, do your tags, you know, make sure you share it on your social medias, all that stuff. So it takes a lot of work. Just noticed you have 89,000 subscribers. It's a lot more when I first found your channel. You must have found me a long time ago. Because I've actually sort of, over the past like couple years, I reached to a certain point and then I plateaued around like 80 something thousand subscribers. And a lot of that was my fault. Like, you know, there was a lot going on in my life and I couldn't really make videos the way that I wanted to. So the videos just weren't as good. I think that some of the videos that came out during that time had some really good ideas, but I just couldn't make them the way that I wanted to. And then as YouTube changed up and down, I just didn't really understand what I was supposed to be doing. And then I just kind of stopped giving a shit, and I was just like, you know what? The only thing that I know how to do is make videos. So that's what I'm gonna focus on. I'm gonna stop focusing on this algorithm bullshit and just make videos. And ironically, once I started doing that, it seemed like my channel started to pick up again. So I've gotten maybe about 1,000 subscribers over the past month. And then maybe we can keep going from there. But the thing about YouTube is you never know what YouTube's gonna do. Like, YouTube could just flip a switch and then all of a sudden you start losing subscribers again. Because the type of videos I make, they appeal to a certain crowd. They're never gonna, you know, I don't think any video that I make is gonna ever get like 5 million views or something. It's just not, doesn't appeal to that mass. Doesn't have that mass appeal, but it does have a appeal to a group of people, and I think there's a lot of people in that group, and I just got to find a way to get YouTube to show my videos to them. But for now, I'm just gonna make videos, and my channel is starting to do okay again, so I'm good with that. What editing program do I use? I use Sony Vegas. If you're ever doing a video about ancient Rome, I'd be happy to advise corruption today has nothing, and I mean nothing, on the Romans. That's actually interesting. I might make a good video sort of comparing two things. What was the climate like when you first started? Were you welcomed? Were the trolls out? Well, when I first started, I wasn't as much into the whole social justice political thing. I just sort of made videos about a lot of different things. I was like a vlogger, basically, you know. I was like fucking I don't know, do people even know? I was just like gonna name some examples, but I don't even know if people know who I'm talking about. You know, I was like the Vlog Brothers. I was like fucking um um I don't know. I was a vlogger. I just talked about random stuff, little rants every now and then, or like little challenges, fun stuff, quizzes. Um, but but every now and then those rants would include something involving social justice. And in my experience, it was I always got a positive reaction most of the time. That was kind of a contradiction, always most of the time. But most of the time I got a positive reaction. Um I feel like people on YouTube were a lot more open to hearing controversial things at that time. Um, they were like a lot more willing to sort of open their mind to different ideas. I think the culture of YouTube has changed. Well, I mean, I'd like to reach 100,000. I've been in the 80s for a long time, and I'm kind of sick of looking at that 8. Yeah, a lot of people found me through the S thing video, and it's really cool because I don't make videos like that anymore, but a lot of those people still stayed, so that's cool. Thanks for staying. Yeah, the Nice Guys video, that's sort of like my signature video, I guess. That's the video that blew my channel up for sure. That video like blew up like on 3 separate occasions. It's not my most watched video. I think it's like my 3rd most watched video, but that's definitely that's definitely the video that put my name on the map. The S thing video is definitely my most viewed video. Um, that's a video that's also it's been shared on Reddit so many times. It just got a lot of views. And I think it's one of those things that's just timeless and people are always going to go back to it. I feel like, you know, with the nice guy thing, I feel like most people get the whole nice guy thing now. Like maybe there'll be some new situation where we have to talk about it again, but I think it's been talked about to death to this point, and I think everybody gets it. So you know that video is probably not going to get shared around quite as much. But you know, it was you know it's definitely put me on the map. And I think those style of videos just aren't in fashion anymore, where you just sort of talk at a camera. I don't think that's not what people really want to see anymore. You know, they want to see more ambitious stuff. They want to see more edits. You know, they want, I don't know. I think people just like more artistic stuff these days. Yeah, the S thing is worldwide. That is something that I learned when I was researching for that video. It's crazy. Everyone draws it. And kids still do it today. To these days. To this day, kids still do it. Like sometimes I'll see like, you know, acquaintances and friends that are, you know, they've been making videos for so long, but they're not like really seeing much success. And a lot of it is like, yeah, you know, the algorithm is sucks, but also all you do is just, you know, talk to your webcam. You know, that's not, you know, I don't that's cool, you know, if you have interesting things to say and you have a good personality. But I just don't think that's what people want to watch on YouTube anymore. People want something that's visually interesting. People want something that's pleasing to hear, has music. You know, people want stuff that's funny. People want stuff with, you know, at least that's my theory. I honestly don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but that's my theory. And that's why I've been trying some new things with my videos. And even so, there's only so much I can do. For one, because my computer sucks. My computer will fucking blow up if I if I make it do too much stuff. But also, you know, I'm new to this, so this is the thing. Like, a lot of people who are YouTubers are people that are into filmmaking. But for me, I never really wanted to be a film. Well, I went through a period where I wanted to be a filmmaker, but my thing is I just like writing. I like writing and I like sharing ideas. So learning how to edit and learning how to make videos and make visually interesting stuff and put music and stuff together, that's all stuff that I have to learn how to do well, because I don't think I'm good at it really. Like, I think my strength is writing. When content creators were competing with farting cats, things were different, but now we're competing with like actual TV and all the crazy pro channels like slow-mo guys. Yeah, exactly. I think people want to be entertained, informative, sure, but they have to be entertaining as well. Otherwise, you just pick up a book. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a more concise way of saying that. Yeah, entertainment plus information. And I've been looking around a lot of different channels to try to get sort of ideas of things that I can incorporate. And there's a lot of, like, if you look at a lot of people, there's a lot of people that have found ways to do this without, you know, they don't need big budgets or super crazy edits, but they've just found a way to make the videos very entertaining and very visually and orally appealing. And I'm trying to learn how to do that one video at a time. Do I have any favorite newer YouTube channels? I can't think of any newer ones that I've found. I've been watching a lot of like gaming content, so it's very niche. Like, I've been playing Dragon Ball Fighter, so I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball videos. I can't think of any like newer ones though. I watch a lot of the old mainstays. Have I seen Curse? Because I have great channel. All right, so I'm gonna be getting off of here in about 5-10 minutes. So if you guys have like one more question or something, we can take a look at them. Definitely thank you for coming to the stream as always. Follow me on Twitter. If you have Twitter, I think you should follow me on there. It's the best way to hear from me a lot. Good luck saving for your computer. Excited for your new video. Oh yeah, I should probably do that. I'm gonna go ahead and make my video public. It's kind of an intense video. I'm actually not sure how people are going to feel about it, but you know, what are you going to do? So I'm about to make my video public. Oh shit. Okay. Like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna stop making disclaimers. Just watch it, and if you like it, and that's cool. If you don't, you don't. I've made videos that people don't like before. It's not that bad. All right, the video's public now, so you guys should go watch it. If you would like to support this channel or support these live streams, consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/the1janitor. Even $1 a month goes a long way, and it really helps me out. Patreon is the primary reason that I'm able to do what I do. So that would be cool. If you want to buy a wristband to help me purchase a new computer, you can do so at the1janitor.com/wristband. If you want to buy a t-shirt like this one, it's not okay to be an asshole, you can go to the1janitor.com/store. I guess that's it. I mean, there's like always a million things that I can plug, but it's just kind of exhausting sometimes. And go watch my video. Follow me on Twitter. And I guess that's it. Thank you guys for coming to the stream. As always, we should be back on Sunday. I know it's Monday, but sometimes the stream's on Monday, but usually it's on Sunday. So we'll probably be back on Sunday. Anyway, bye.